it's just a really cool place to sort of know everyone here. It's sort of like that Cheers bar, you know, where you know everyone, and so there's always a smiley face and always someone to listen to your sad story and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a good spot.
It's focused on live music, want to promote it, want to see it grow, and hopefully for everyone to come and enjoy.
Thank you very much, that was great.
But there's been some bloody great bands here, and the bar at the back is awesome for live music, for events. And the front bar is a great bar for bands and for dancing and having a good night out, yeah.
I'm Mark Flyger. I'm one of the owners of Biddy Mulligans here in Hamilton, along with Duncan Otto and his wife Bridget. We acquired Biddy's 8 years ago, and Biddy's has been going for 27 years now, and along with the former Diggers Bar, which is where Biddy's is now located, is the two of the oldest establishments in Hamilton. We try and achieve live music 7 days a week. That's our aim.
A bar without music to me is lifeless. It has no soul.
Live music in Hamilton is strong, and I think it's growing. And what we're finding at the moment is a lack of venues. And I think the more venues that we can get offering live music, the more it will grow and the more it will expand. So we'd like to see more venues, and we'd like to support other venues and have live music. So I've noticed a few others cropping up in the last few months, and that's great. It's great for Hamilton. It's great for New Zealand music. They're not competitors because, everyone can attract a crowd. So the more people playing, the more people will go and see them, and then we'll bring people out of the woodwork that aren't currently coming out to listen to live music. So I'd like to see Hamilton awash with live music. Every bar in town here playing live music would just be fantastic. What a great vibe, and what a great way to promote Hamilton and New Zealand generally. But no, I think we need to develop Hamilton scene. Hamilton needs a boost of culture, and they're talking about a theatre in town. What do you need a theatre for when you can have the real thing, real live music and real live performance? This building's had a very interesting history. It was built in 1903. It was the former Waikato Hospital Board district offices. Just up the road was the local morgue, and it's had a number of lives over its history. It's been a flower shop, it's been a gun shop, it's been a draper's, and about 27 years ago it became a Diggers Bar. And it ran very successfully for a long period of time, and was probably the bar to come to for a long, long time in Hamilton. And then business, the market, Hood Street was thriving back in those days. The old Biddy Mulligans building was condemned because it wasn't earthquake proof or strengthened. When we first acquired this building that we're in now, we strengthened it. We put in new foundations and new structures to make sure that it's earthquake strengthened. And that was another reason why the move to Hood Street was attractive, because this building already meets the earthquake requirements. But when we had the choice to make, we kept it as Diggers or we changed it to Biddy's, it was the influence of the Hamilton Blues Society and the Acoustic Club and Sönke. We felt that we couldn't afford to let that go for the sake of music generally. So That's why we decided that this would be better as biddies than diggers.
It's a returning home, really. Probably about 20 years ago, in the late 1990s, the club was hosted here when it was diggers, and they lost that opportunity for one reason and another. It wasn't the best, but they lost the venue here. So after that, they had a number of places where they went to. Many of the members won't be aware that 2017 was the 10th anniversary of the relaunch of the Hamilton Blues Society. It was relaunched at Biddy Mulligans in Victoria Street, and since that time it's just gone from strength to strength, and it's now come back to its original roots, which is the old Diggers Bar, but still under the name Biddy Mulligans. We've found people will dance to the blues we're playing. I'm not particularly into the sort of musician sitting in a rocking chair on a porch or the stomp box style of morbid blues or melancholy blues. I'm not quite into that style. That doesn't appeal to me, but certainly blues rock.
Every other blues started off with, I woke up this morning, and what do you do after that, So if you didn't wake up, you'd be dead, wouldn't you?
There's always a good band down here, so it's always a good night out. And the age of the people that come is sort of more in slightly more mature categories. So it means you've got, people with similar life stories and life experiences. So it's actually it's got a sort of clientele in a nice range that works really well.
So at the moment we have a second Thursday, which is the Hamilton Blues Society Jam Night.
Everybody knows my name. Tonight, I might get loaded on a bottle of wine, on a bottle of wine. Yeah, tonight, I might get loaded on a bottle of wine, on a bottle of wine.
The fourth Sunday, which is an afternoon affair, and that's 4 bands over 4 hours. We will entertain anyone who can deliver a blues format. Could be a solo artist, duo, trio. They don't have to be members of the society to play here on the fourth Sunday.
Okay, let's talk. What the mojo working? Oh, the mojo working. Oh, the mojo working. I am the mojo working. I am the mojo working, but it just won't work on you.
I'm liking your new look there, Tony. This Bluesberry band thing is doing good. for
Dr.
you.
Tony K.
Reminds me of Paul McCartney a little bit.
Because I really know, way down the line. Oh, someday, darling, after a while, you will be happy, taking a job.
And then the other event is the showcase, which we have on the 5th Thursday of the month. The bands are expected to perform really, really well for those showcases, because that's what we're doing. We're showcasing the musicians from the Blues Society to the general public. So they've been very well attended, and they've always gone off exceedingly well, but they're in the evening here.
I've done a few songwriting courses and that, and I have a group in Auckland that I take. Well, there's a fair bit of depression in young people now with youth suicide and stuff like that, and that gets towards, their own blues type of, I feel. And people have been a bit scared to talk about that sort of thing for a while with depression and that, with Mike King on the radio, and they're starting to accept it and talk about it a bit more, so they could probably develop their own story into something that's about 10% themselves and 90% that the world can understand. Because if you get too involved with yourself and you're having trouble working it out, the world's going to have trouble. But if you can write something that every other people think, that's me they're talking about, and they can relate it to themselves, it's much better than that.
I play lead guitar in the band Under the Influence. It's the first band I've ever been in. I've been playing since I was 17, and sort of just like jamming along. But being in a band has really forced me to push and grow.
I play the saxophone, and I've got an interest in music as a result of that. Duncan plays the bass, and Bridget sings. So we've got an interest in live music and promoting live music for everyone's enjoyment, which is what it's about.
I'm not a musician myself, but I've been brought up in a house full of music my entire life. My family, my mother especially, we were listening to Motown and John Lee Hooker and B.B. King when we were children. So yeah, it's always something that's been in my life really. Music is, you can't survive without music.
I'm very much in the, I suppose you could say, the English blues mode. So you're talking John Mayall, Cream, Alan Price, The Animals, all those bands from the 60s. And that's partly because that was the first time I was exposed to music as a teenager. Jimi Hendrix. Quite different styles of music than I heard at home my father played, mainly Django Reinhardt, but Django didn't do that with the guitar, but Hendrix managed to do it very well. Since then I've gone sort of Hendrix, Clapton I suppose, not quite so much, Gary Moore, Joe Bonamassa, those sort of guys who, Deep Purple, who can really, really play the blues. played drums for a band called Shotgun, and I've played drums since I was 15. Originally in Wellington I played in a trad jazz band, and we used to do lots of blues, but it was the trad jazz sort of New Orleans style blues. I enjoy playing blues, but the thing is you can't survive as a musician in Hamilton if you're just playing blues. So you have to go out and play current music, or listening music I suppose you could say, and then drop back to playing the blues at the club.
On the 7th hour, 7th day, on the 7th month, 7 doctors say he was one for good luck, and that you see.
I think it went extremely well. I was very pleased with the audience numbers and the quality of the band.